No bidding. Sorry about that. And of course, if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, that's alright too. I may put the sound effect in the beginning at some point. I may not. It's hard to say. Anyway, howdy, nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends. And welcome to this, a day where I'm doing okay so far, and that's a good deal. Today is the day I'm going to start taking 2 gabapentin tablets, one in the morning, one in the evening. Do that for 3 or 4 days, and then go onward from there. So thumbs up. Yay on that. It's going to be a scorcher today. About 4 o'clock we're supposed to peak in the 80s, which means it'll probably actually be in the low 90s. Yay. Trying to keep the house as cool as possible so that later on it'll not be blorching. Blistering and scorching. Blorching. Son of a gun. Anyway, it's a brand new day. I would try to call the Social Security office today to see if they've gotten my paperwork, but generally old people tend to call places like Social Security and all that on beginning of the week and end of the week. So Mondays and Fridays you have to contend with a lot of old people who have got nothing better to do than just sit on hold. So you can be on hold for hours, long enough to drain and destroy any sort of mobile phone. So thumbs up on that. So I may call them today, try to call them. I may not and just wait till tomorrow. We shall see. Yay. Past that, checking my list. I do not have a lot of stuff written down here because I don't have a lot I've actually been thinking of. I have had, because of that depression coming on in the evening, a lot of issues with actual thought and trying to be creative and trying to just think. Especially still with people have asked for an update on the house. I think right now it's just no great risk of homelessness immediately, but since the lease is not going to be renewed, there is the hard cutoff date of the end of September. So I have August and September, and then either I have a home or I am homeless. So I've got to figure out how to get the transportation, how to get a U-Haul, all this, because I have to take another 300 and some odd bucks and give it to my housemate for the Comcast bill. So all of the money has gone to that and survival. Nothing new has been coming into the GoFundMe, so yay on that. But then I haven't been advertising it, executive function issues, and I do hate asking for help, even though I will do it mildly and talk around it. I hate actually coming out and saying I need help. One of the reasons that I've found it difficult to make a GoFundMe video now. Thumbs up on that. But on the whole getting ready to have to move thing, I've still been going through my bedroom and getting things thrown out and put into new crates. Not crates, plastic bins. I've gone through the large bulk of the stuff that's not in my closet. I just have two or three plastic bins that I need to go through and make sure the stuff inside the stuff I want to keep. Past that, it's on into the closet. The hard and most rough part of this is I don't have boxes for things like my consoles, so I just have to put the old consoles that I've got just inside of one of the plastic tubs on top of each other. I got a bunch of wires at the bottom, old cables that I put at the bottom one of the plastic tubs, and then I have the consoles on top of that for kind of shock protection. And I'm gonna like put a blanket in between layers, but that's the best that I have. Yay. But yeah, going through things, but so it's better than not knowing. It's better than everything being horrific. But so far, as long as my housemates will continue to pay for the utilities, it's going to be the end of September. If they decide they don't want to pay for any of that anymore, it's going to be right then into that month. Could be August, could be September. But anyway, there's that hard end at the end of September since lease ends we're not renewing. So yeah, I gotta try and find some housing, because I also need to contact my social worker to let them know that housing ain't going to help me. VA housing isn't going to help me until I fall down with a crash. So yay on that. But I've been trying to get as much creative thinking and just thinking as possible inside of my head, because again, I'm filled with panic and paralysis and static, and then with the rest of that, I'm getting stuff done as best I can, and not a whole lot of room left for actual thinking and thought processes. But checking up the rest of my list here though, oh yes, there's things like, I also have not just my consoles, I got an air compressor for when I would blow the air out of my computer, which I still hope to get fixed, but I mean, it's in a state that is not good, and here I gotta pack things up to move. I'm already having difficulties finding parts that I have that go in it. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna have nothing left when I finally get moved. I might as well buy a whole new computer at that point for all the parts that I'll have lost, which means I will never have a new computer. So, joy. As it is with the console front, I hadn't realized, I realized because it's older, but I hadn't realized how much had changed on the purchasing front. My Xbox One is broken. I gotta find a place somehow, somewhere, somewhen to get it fixed, because of course the Xbox One's been discontinued. You can get an Xbox Series S, which is completely digital, and they're $300, but I got solid physical discs that I would like to play. But if I do that, if I want to play any Xbox discs, then I need to get the Series X, the much more expensive thing. Because they don't make anything but the discless and the more expensive disc version. So, joy. Yay. Past that, again, still just trying my best to survive. Now, one thing that I did see on a Beau of the Fifth column, he's a lefty that lives down in Florida. He's worked in security. Well, covered it. He's been a journalist type. But he has a lot of security contacts and such around the whole world, and he talks to a lot of people. He is on the ball when he talks about stuff. One of the things that a person had sent a question saying, how is it that conservative pundits, conservative on-air people will get really, really close to getting it right and then veer off and miss the point? You've seen it if you've watched that, where you're going, okay, you've walked your audience from A to B to C, you just need to walk them to D. But then they go, whoosh, and they never hit D and then circle back to the original, oh, this thing is bad at the end. So they get close to admitting it and then jump back full circle to their original position. And Beau was just pointing out, they know, they're smart, they're educated, they know what they're saying, but they do have the financial incentive to talk to their audience and give them what they want. If they told them A to B to C to D, then their audience would either learn and then stop listening to them, or would go to another market to get what they want. They don't want news and information, they want confirmation bias. And if you don't give it to them, somebody else will. So for the conservatives and the pundits, when they talk about things like representation and all that, they know, they understand completely. But they can't have their listeners and watchers get the point, or they won't be listeners and watchers anymore. But when it comes to representation, they know, they understand exactly how powerful representation is in the media, because why do you think the alt-right grifters have such an absolute apoplectic fit whenever there's like a Barbie movie. Because representation is powerful. And if you've got someone other than the status quo in representation, that's dangerous. And so you've got to stomp on that so that only status quo, white conservative males are the focus and have to be the focus. And if they aren't the focus, well, it's anti-male, it's anti-this, it's woke. And of course, what does woke mean? It means nothing. Because the right has turned it into, and it's anything I don't like. But yeah, representation is woke because it's important. And if you represent anyone but white, conservative, Christian, nationalistic males, oh, that's not good. Because then you're letting those people that you step on realize that, hey, maybe they shouldn't be stepped on. Joy. I love the status quo. That's what's driving us at the climate change cliff at 100 miles an hour with the brakes pedal removed and a 1,000-pound weight put on the acceleration pedal. We are headed toward the cliff, and there's no effort made to stop it because they will die last. Status quo is wonderful. Past that, I have, again, just been trying to survive. Out on my walkies, I went to Walmart last night, walked my way all back. It takes about 2.5 hours if I'm pushing my walker, because I can't walk as fast or I'm going to die. So joy on that. 90% of all the problems I have with my walker coming to a stop as I am traveling are either transitioning from street to sidewalk, transitioning from sidewalk to street, or on the sidewalk. There is like a fraction of a percent where I have had problems being on the roads. But sidewalks are death traps. Oh my God, no matter how... When I said that a road is 80% cleared traveling and 20% you got to keep your eyes real open or you're going to fall, and that sidewalks are 80% you got to keep your eyes open and 20% clear sailing, that'd be nice if it was in discrete chunks, but it's not. They take, here's this 20%, here's this 80%, and it's all mixed up. So you always have to have your eyes open on the sidewalk, because if you don't, your walker is going to come to a halt. And I have pulled and pushed these muscles in my upper body as I've had to yank my walker from that halt so I don't fall. I have slammed my legs into my walker that hurts. Because, hey, walking into a solid metal thing is no fun. And then that will knock the walker out of the ruts. But they're constant. You have to be constantly watching if you're pushing a walker on a sidewalk, or you're going down. On the roads, yeah, it's still that mix, so you got to keep your eyes open. But I also frequently, as stated, will be just daydreaming, thinking about things, not really paying attention because I'm on the road, and I'm fine that way. But on the sidewalks, I am constantly scanning, because if I don't, and even when I do, I still hit stuff that I missed, and thump, the whole thing comes to an abrupt halt. You only need a very short space for the wheels to fall into. And on a road, those, because of travel, aren't just, 90-degree angles. They're softened like this because of constant travel. So your wheel goes into the valley and then drives out the other side. But with those sharp 90-degree angles on a sidewalk, because it's just largely foot traffic, your wheel goes into it and stops. And you only need about a quarter of of an inch of a gap to bring that thing to an abrupt halt. I hate sidewalks. They are death traps. But hey, life is life. Still been thinking on the creative front about what I am doing with Senator Jane Claren and all of this, thinking about how the nation of Tarokin, or Tarokin, is the nation. And everyone in the Necropolis just refers to the entirety of the whole nation, not cities. And because of where his background, Senator Claren keeps asking what happened to Calden. But after all this time, nobody knows the names of cities anymore. Why? Why would they? What differentiates this part of the Necropolis that used to be called Calden from this part of the Necropolis that used to be called something else? Now it's just places for the dead. And aside from mild geographical changes, it's all the same, just mausoleums and ossuaries and tombs and crypts and headstones and catacombs choked with bones. It's all a necropolis. Why would you differentiate? So yeah, emotionally it's a shock, while at the same time Senator Claren, retired, Jay, also understands that becoming a lich in the first place was going to disconnect him from time. It was going to be 5 to 50, 500 years before the process finished and he awoke as a lich. Because it's not just simple in this case, you wake up and you're just a mobile pile of bones. No, becoming a lich is traditionally something that makes you more powerful. It is like if you are in a Dungeons and Dragons campaign that goes up to 10th level, and you're a 10th level character, and you do this process, and when you wake up, you've suddenly gained an extra 5 levels just across the board in everything, which puts you so much more above most everyone else. It's just a concentration of that power. And so it took a very long time for him to wake up after being dead. He has this emotional connection to the past while still realizing that this is the future and this is what is now. So getting used to Calden not being Calden. It used to be a political and cultural powerhouse, and now just another part of the ossuary. So yeah, when they're first exploring and trying to find out the limits of this place, finding animate skeletons with intelligence, because they wake up and begin from that point. And there's a whole lot more that happens underneath the surface, because again, no matter what the setting, I have to do this much so I can use this much so I can actually write this much. I'm getting a whole lot of this stuff, how it all works out. But yeah, they find those who, yeah, I've been awake for, well, it snowed and then it didn't and then it snowed again. And I've been traveling with the evening sun at my back for a full year. Must be 30 miles a day I'm traveling. It's all just been this. All just been a necropolis. That's like 1,300 miles. This inanimate skeleton has traveled looking for someone, and finally coming across Senator Jane Claren's lich form, the first person that's intelligent that they've come across after traveling for over 1,000 miles through a necropolis. So I'm working on that setting and the story of how they become the Tomb of the Flaming Queen. And I did not get this changed, so I'm going to get that done tomorrow. I promise to put more people who are my Patreon patrons up on this list, because these are beautiful and awesome people that help me survive, each and every one of my Patreon patrons. If you could become a patron to help me and my aging pet survive, that would be thoroughly awesome. But I do appreciate each and every one of you. You help keep me and my aging pet alive. For people that donate to my PayPal and for those who have donated to my GoFundMe, thank you all so very much. I wave my arms over in this direction now because of the high contrast against that background. It's not so high over in this direction, plus twisting my arm outward doesn't feel good at all. Pinch nerves, yay. But so it's more high contrast, so I wave my arms over here now. So let's see, where was I? Yes, but thank you each and every person that has donated in any fashion to help me survive and to keep me online. It is appreciated. I'm also going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments in the past 24 hours. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. There used to be a lot of comments. Now, as long as I get anything more than 0, thank you all so much. It is appreciated. Anything more than 0 is incredible. Thank you all. Let me call it my room. Plus, I need to lose more weight again. I'm up to well, with clothing and shoes, I'm around 217. Subtract about 10 pounds, and that's around 207, which is still too much. I want to get back down to about 190 or so. So, yay. But still, we have Dodge V8, thumbs up. Thank you very much for enjoying all of my Daggerfall stuff. It is potentially a game that you could play for years and never finish. So, I don't want to do that, but it's not something you exactly rush either. But it's an awesome game. Thumbs up. Thank you very much. It's real lit. Thumbs up. Thank you. And hey, while I do not like Diablo 3 or Diablo 4, that's just me. The fact that I don't like it only means that I don't like it. That doesn't mean it should affect anyone else. If you like them, that's awesome. And I hope you continue to enjoy playing them. But yeah, if you want to try a bit of old history on GOG.com, they have Diablo 1 and Diablo 2. And I think you can still buy it somewhere on Blizzard's site to get Diablo 2. Maybe? There's still discs out there somewhere, but they're worth it. And hey, try Grim Dawn. Grim Dawn is awesome. And we have JAYY, thumbs up, thank you very much. And yeah, my old aging kitty, she's my pretty kitty, my old lady, my aging old lady. So, well, of course, aging and old. So, but still, thumbs up, thank you very much. And then there's Pop Blast, thumbs up, and hopefully I feel doing enough on the housing situation. It ain't good, but it ain't the freight train is still a little distance away, so I got a little bit of time, but it's rushing at me at 200 miles an hour, so yay. 77, excuse me. Arcturus, thumbs up, thank you very much, greatly appreciated. And again, with the fact that I don't like D3 and D4 should not detract from your enjoyment of D4 if you do so. That's a definite thumbs up. If you can enjoy it, that's a good thing. We have Jeremy, except with a 0 instead of an O, who asks if Daggerfall is worth playing. Use the Daggerfall Unity port, get some mods, and there are mod guides online, and then play it that way. It can be really good, but it is a 90s game. It is brutal, it is harsh, it is unforgiving. Back in the 90s, games did not hold your hand. They would slaughter your character just at a heartbeat, and if you hadn't saved for 4 hours, it's gone. So it's brutal, but it can be worth it if you try it out. That's the only way to find out. We have Shinra, thumbs up, and I don't know on PoE2. I have to read more and find out more stuff. And then we have Jesse Koskinen, thumbs up, always good to see you in the comments, and that is it. Thank you, each and every one of you, for having left me a comment. You get me out of my head, into the world, dealing with real people. That is a very, very good thing. I have reached the point that I've talked before about how I wear my orange t-shirt. It's really, really tight and clingy, and so I talk about how I've got the best pair of old man titties here in Shelton, Washington, which I still say I do. They are radiant and magnificent. But I have also gotten so much weight that now my big old pot belly hangs out. In bad case of Dunlaps, you know, where your belly Dunlap over your belt. While it don't Dunlap fully like that. It's, oh boy, not something I feel proud of. So, yay. Still though, I'm going to do what I can do today, and hopefully you can do what you can do today. That would be good. If you can't do anything, if you only survive, hey, you survived a day. Don't feel bad. Definitely a good thing. So, let me get this thing turned on. I hope your day is awesome. And, yeah. One day I'm going to figure out a different ending. I'm going to get bored of this one, and then I'll do something different. But until then, yeah. Very, the most amateur professional you will find.